The following is a production of WCMP Sports. It's time for girls playoff basketball action here on KBEK. Today we'll see the Milaca Wolves taking on the Albany Huskies. Tip-off is coming your way shortly, but now we send it out to the court for the pregame. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to this afternoon's game here on Nice 95.5 FM KBEK. It's a girls basketball playoff game here in Section 6AA, where we'll see our Milaca Wolves taking on the Albany Huskies. The Albany Huskies, the number one seed in this section, and have not been they've been challenged, but they haven't lost that much this season. One loss on the year. They come in 13-0 in the section, 25-1 on the regular season. I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman, and joining alongside me here this afternoon, is going to be Andy Beckstrom. And Andy, here we are at St. John's University for this matchup. These two teams are pretty familiar with each other, not only same section, but also the same conference.
Yeah, these two teams go way back, and glad to be here at St. John's. Beautiful place to be able to do some basketball. Just an amazing field, kind of driving up the old Collegeville Drive and seeing the church bells in the background and everything. Kind of a whole ambiance to the whole feel of everything. But a lot of playoff feel in the air here. A lot of purple. Still waiting for some more of the Milaca fans to maybe show up, but we still got another 10-15 minutes before we tip off here. But Albany just up the road. But yeah, as you mentioned, these two teams not only same conference, same section, but go way back over the course of years. Been in the same section for a lot of years. Conferences have changed a little bit here and there, but otherwise they are definitely very familiar with each other. Albany, year in and year out, especially in girls basketball, just a juggernaut to be able to contend with.
Yeah, and it surprises me, and it probably shouldn't, but that they're able to continually get that that talent to come in and year out, but that just goes to show how good their program is. Of course, their lone loss on the season came against New London Spicer, who plays in Class 3AA, or I should say Section 3AA, and they're 21-7 on the year, so not a bad team that they lost against, and it was still a close one, 45-33, but other than that, not another loss on the season. They did get that first round bye here as the number one seed, so this will be their first game of the playoffs, but don't let that fool you. They are definitely ready for this one, and Albany, again, a juggernaut like we mentioned, but they're going to play against Milaca, who is a very good, very physical, scrappy team, and they're a team who will stay in it from beginning to finish. They had a great start to the year, and middle way through the season, it looked like they were going to be the team to beat in this section and give Albany a run for their money, but they did have an injury happen late in the season, sadly, and they did lose a couple of games, but they're still a very good team to play against, and they're also tough, and I'm interested to see how Milaca is going to look here today against this Albany Husky team.
Yeah, it should be an interesting matchup to see how they are able to respond. They've definitely played a handful of games now without their star forward, Westling, who is just tremendous over the last handful of years, now losing out on her senior season. You hate to see that for anybody, but it always hurts, especially your senior season, when you're really on a roll and playing well. But they've responded. They've won a couple of games coming down the stretch, and they won a first-round matchup to be able to get to this game. So they're not you don't close up the doors. You don't shut up shop and give up on the season at that point. You grin and bear it, and she's on the sidelines, cheering her team on, and still a part of everything, and wanting to make things happen. I remember I believe my junior year of high school, we had our star guard went down about halfway through the season with a broken leg, missed the rest of the year. We still went after it. You adjust things and you make it work, and that's what you got to do to be able to do that. And you have that player on the bench that's still trying to help coach, trying to have comments, trying to instill that confidence in everybody. And sometimes that's just all you need, is be able to still have that player around to be able to help you through that a little bit. Like, I can't get on the court, but I can still have an effect on the game.
Absolutely, and obviously it's sad that her senior season is now lost and over with, but for her, she now gets to look at it from a different perspective, kind of as the coach's perspective. And what does that do for her now? Obviously, obviously we don't ever want to see anybody get injured, especially lose their senior season. But what does that do for her maybe going forward if she is going to play at the next level, getting to see the game from a different perspective like this?
Well, I think it definitely kind of changes a little bit of how you view the game in front of you. You know, so many times, you talk to different coaches, when you get a chance to actually coach or be on the sidelines, it's such a different view because you have that extra moment to kind of think about things and look at, the whole court rather than just, what are my responsibilities? What's my role? Where am I going? How am I rolling to the basketball? How is the ball coming through or to me? And now once you're in a coach's role, you get to see like everything. It definitely changes kind of how you're viewing, what's in front of you and really what the whole team is doing. It's possible at a forward/center position, you're really only focused on, all right, what is my footwork like? How do I roll to the basket? I can work with maybe some other girls, that are playing the same or similar position, but when you get into that role, now you're starting to see, okay, how does the ball move around the perimeter? How do they enter the ball inside? How can I, if nothing else, you start seeing, all right, how can I face the ball better? How can I present myself to receive the ball better? Because you can see what they're trying to do, what they're facing on the outside, more than, sometimes you're just battling with position, whoever's on your back or whoever's fronting you. You're trying to just be able to get your spot. But if you see that other way, it definitely changes your perspective.
Absolutely, and it should be fun here today. A very good matchup between these two teams, and these two teams will be facing off for the third time this year. These two teams faced off in the regular season twice, as they do play in the same conference. Albany did get the victory both times over Milaca. The last loss was a 66-53 loss, and then the first loss of the season was a 58-26 loss. But again, that second game was a little bit better the second time around for Milaca. So you gotta imagine that they're coming in with a little bit more confidence here in this game, as it is going to be the third meeting here between these two teams in this section quarterfinal matchup here at St. John's University. And again, Albany's such a very good team. They're great at shooting, but what they do is they do have the best defense in this section, giving up only 36 points a game. Now, they may not have the most prolific offense, so to speak, in the section, but you don't need to when you've got a defense that's as stingy as this Husky one is.
Well, you see different teams around our area and around various sections that, the way they play defense, sometimes their defense is their best offense. You look at a team even like Bram, like they are not necessarily the most potent offense out there, but they're going to turn the ball over. They're going to force you into mistakes, and then they're going to get out and run. If you have a team that's quick and can play defense, you can win a lot of ball games just being able to do that. Then when you actually get into a half-court offense, you just slow the game down, settle it down, and just play, I think we talked earlier, you play kind of a Novocaine type of offense at that point in time. But when you get on defense, you're aggressive and attacking it up in your face. And, that's something that, like I said, it can create offense because then it becomes a fast break offense. If you can run down the court, you don't even have to set up your offense. You just score in bunches, and we've seen it with numerous different teams, and I'm sure, potentially from Albany tonight, hopefully Milaca can get out and run with them to be able to get back on defense. But we've seen it from some of the really successful teams that all of a sudden you look up and it's a 15-point swing. It's just incredible how quickly it happens, especially when you can get that fast break offense and those turnovers. It's, okay, now let's settle down. Let's get into the half court. Okay, we're down by 10 now. Like it happens that quickly, and I think that's something, probably the biggest thing Milaca's going to have to watch out for. You mentioned, they played them twice. It's extremely hard in any sport to beat a team 3 times in a season, but we've seen it, it happens. Albany's one of those teams that can definitely do that, can beat just about anybody, but it still takes a lot. You still have to get out there and play the game and win and go get the game. There's a lot of teams that just kind of, we're that good, it's fine. We're just going to, we're cruising, we're waiting for X team or, the subsection championship or, whatever matchup it might be. But, you can't look past a team, when you get to this position. And Milaca's got a lot to fight for, trying to play for their senior that's injured. And, she's right there cheering them on. And, that's something that, you got to go and get it. You have to win it. You can't just let it come to you. You have to go and get it.
Absolutely, and I think for Milaca, again, you talked about they have a lot to play for here in this afternoon's game, and it should be a fun one, but we talked about Albany and how good they are, but this Milaca team, my goodness, they're a team who I was able to watch at the last game of the regular season against Pine City, and man, they are such a stingy team. They will never go away. They continue to play hard right till that final buzzer, and they came down from a double-point deficit a couple of times there in that game against Pine City, and turned it back and got back within a couple of points. So this is a team where I feel like they are a team that can play from behind and are willing to play from behind, but will continue to fight playing from behind to get back and try and close that gap, and they do such a great job. And I think one thing that's really easy to do, especially maybe in playoffs, is get down on yourself and maybe some of your teammates. But I think it's so important here, especially in playoffs, to keep each other's heads up, to keep each other motivated, and I'm sure that's what their senior will be doing on the sidelines. But, I mean, just talk about the importance of that, of just making sure you're keeping, number one, your emotions in check, because those can get pretty high here, especially in a playoff game neutral site.
In this type of atmosphere, it's easy to kind of get ahead of yourself and get away with things a little bit. Got a lot of crowd on hand, got a lot of people up there, supporting you, and there's a lot of people that are up there supporting the other team too. You got the live band playing in the corner, all things that you've probably experienced before, but now you're on a neutral site that it's in a lot bigger gymnasium. You have that open air behind the backboard. You don't have the wall that's right next to the backboard. You have a little bit more space, so you have to calm yourself and just focus on, all right, what do I normally shoot at? The rim. We're going to shoot at the rim. We're not going to let the arena, if anything, be able to get the best of you and shoot over the top of that. You have to try to calm yourself, calm your mind, and sometimes that's what good teams do. A team like Albany, who's been there and seen a lot of that stuff, they're going to try to use that to their advantage, get out and attack right away in the first couple, 3, 4, 5 minutes. By the time another team is able to, all right, we can settle in. Now once you're into the game, then it's like, okay, now we're just playing basketball. But if you're already down by 20 at that point, it definitely makes it hard. And so that's going to be, I think, probably the biggest challenge that Milaca is going to face is not letting them jump out right away, trying to stay within themselves and be able to play their game.
Absolutely, and we are just about set for tip-off here inside St. John's University, Sexton Arena here, the beautiful campus of St. John's University in Collegeville, Minnesota. We will get a word from our fine sponsors, but we want to give a huge shout-out to Wellia Health for sponsoring the video portion of this broadcast here. Wellia Health is here to keep you feeling your best so that you can enjoy all the things that you love best. Count on them for eye exams, mental health services, rehabilitation, wellness exams, urgent care, and much more. You can schedule by calling 679-1313. We'll hear a word from our fine sponsors, then we'll be back for tip-off here on Nice 95.5 FM KBEK.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome to a new era in healthcare.
With expert caregivers
In advanced facilities,
we help you live
in the best way possible.
Engaged, encouraged, and well.
So welcome.
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 Welcome to the new Wellia Health.
Live life well.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
Maxwell Southern Barbecue in Pine City is now hiring, but owners Dennis and Maggie wanted us to give you the job hazards up front, so here it goes. Working at Maxwell's may cause severe envy of seeing the joy on customers' faces. The smell of slow smoked brisket, ribs, chicken, and pork may cause euphoria. Cooks may experience, quote, mean mugs and jealousy from cooks that don't work with a barbecue pitmaster. But the good news is Maxwell Southern Barbecue is now hiring cooks and wait staff. Apply in person today or log on to MaxwellSouthernBBQ.com now.
Keep your home or business comfortable this winter by getting a furnace tune-up from Dale's Heating and Appliance. A tune-up from Dale's will keep your furnace running at peak efficiency so you can stay warm all winter. And Dale's offers financing on new heating systems as well. Your hometown heating expert is Dale's Heating and Appliance. Avoid costly repairs and call Dale's Heating and Appliance at 320-629-3531 or find them online at dalesheatingandappliance.com. dalesheatingandappliance.com.
Hey there, this is Destiny at United Country Preferred Real Estate in Milaca. Nobody knows the country like we do. We truly are your local experts in the market. We specialize in lifestyle properties specially for you and have been since 1940. So whatever you're looking for, we can find it for you. Visit us online at ucmilaca.com. United Country Preferred Real Estate in Milaca is a proud sponsor for the Wolves for all Milaca High School sports. Go Wolves!
Kettle River Pizza, the handcrafted pizza made locally in Ash Cove, Minnesota. Always the highest quality ingredients. Pizza that is consistently great tasting. A true crowd pleaser. 16 varieties to choose from. Enjoy the classics like pepperoni, pepperoni sausage and supreme, to the unique tastes of hot Hawaiian, taco, buffalo chicken, and chicken Alfredo. Pick some up at your local grocer, tavern, or convenience store. Handcrafted Kettle River Pizza. Moms and basketball players approved.
Save now, plow now. Save now, mow later. The word to remember is save at Minnesota Equipment. End of the snow season means savings on all in-stock snowblowers. Top brands like Ariens and Toro. And if you're a get-a-jump-on-things type of person, get your new mower now and save before the grass starts growing. John Deere, Gravely, Toro, and more. Minnesota Equipment has the machines, experience, and inventory to help you get the job done in any season. Save now at Minnesota Equipment.
Did you know that Franzen Bank and Trust is a Minnesota-owned company? And they're one of the largest community banks around. That's a great combination. As a community bank, they're dedicated to their customers and the communities they serve. You might say they're big enough to help, small enough to care. Last March, they provided $20,000 in grants to 6 different Minnesota communities. They also processed well over 1,700 PPP loans, allowing local small businesses to keep their employees on the payroll during the pandemic. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Back here on KBEK, nice 95.5 FM. The Albany Huskies and Milaca Wolves are just about set for tip-off here inside Sexton Arena at St. John's University. And the starting lineups here for these two teams, starting with the Milaca Wolves. It will be number 3, Bella Sahlstrom. Then number 5, Lydia Cramlett. Number 11, Madison Gothman. Number 24, Willa Hunt. And 33, Abby Anderson, as the Huskies win the tip-off here. And for the Huskies, it'll be number 1, Alyssa Sand. Number 2, Savannah Pelzer. And we get a quick score there from the Huskies.
Pelzer knocks that one from beyond the arc. Must have had a foot on the line. They just marked it a 2, but good ball rotation and just a set on the outside.
So 2-0, an early lead here for Albany, as Sam Van Heel will be number 11 for Albany, 13 Tatum Finley, and 33 Kylan Garrett's. As now the Wolves have it back in their front court. It's Sahlstrom with it, and Sahlstrom will bring it towards the top of the key. She'll back it off here on the near side to Cramlett. Cramlett trying to drive inside. She's going to turn around, back it off, and now she will look for Gothman. And Gothman, a huge player in their final game of the regular season in Pine City, and a errant pass that is stolen away by Sam Van Heel, and the Albany Huskies will take it the other way. It's no good, but a foul going to be called there on Bella Sahlstrom. So it'll be the team's first. Oh, they actually did call it a 3 there, Andy. They did.
Oh, they did give it a 3? Okay.
Yep.
I thought she was on the perimeter, but I've been known to be wrong once or twice. It's okay.
So Sahlstrom gets the first foul for Milaca. And the first shot is up that time from Finley and no good.
And while they got back on defense, it's still a foul and still going to the free throw line. Like, that's something we talked about before, is that defense, a turnover, and then a quick, fast break offense that does a good job by Milaca to be able to get back and not allow just the easy lay-in.
So she does make the second free throw, and it's 4-0 now in favor of the Albany Huskies. But here come the Milaca Wolves into the front court. Nearly stolen away. Nice job by Gothman to keep the ball out of harm's way, and then she'll give it off to Sahlstrom. Now back to Gothman. She'll give it back to Sahlstrom into the near side corner here. They try to go inside to Hunt, and Hunt does a nice job getting that one up and in for 2.
Really nice coming off the screen there, being able to square herself up for the ball, turn square to the basket, and be able to just put it up off the window.
But back are the Albany Huskies quickly up the court, and with it is Finley. She'll give it top of the key here to Pelzer, who did hit that 3 to begin the game. It's just under 2 minutes have gone off the clock here in the first half. Now Garrett's will try and drive. She'll give it back outside here to Finley for 3. That's going to come up short, and a rebound there for Abby Anderson. Milaca will bring it up the court now with Cramlett. Cramlett pauses, then looks and gives it over to Gothman. Gothman on the near side. She'll give it back here to Solstrom. Solstrom will give it right back to Gothman, and now she tries to drive inside. She goes almost into a triple team, backs it out to Solstrom. Solstrom bounce pass, but it's going to be stolen away here by Finley. Finley brings it up the court for Albany. Nice Euro step, pulls up, and gets the friendly roll. That one goes up and in for 2 to make it 6-2.
Just hard defense, knocking the ball away and using that fast break just to get up the court quickly.
Cramlett has it. She lost it, and now it's going to be stolen away by Garrett's, and Garrett's with the steal now. She'll bring it up the court. She stops, gives it off here to Van Heel. Van Heel inside, and that one is going to fall in. That's Alyssa Sand who will put it up and in for 2, and pretty physical inside, but she got away with it and laid it in for 2.
Good soft touch on that, being able to get through and just lay that up in there. Thought she was going to pass that one off, but just went right to the basket aggressively.
And speaking of aggressive, the Huskies so far on defense being extremely aggressive. And even when the Wolves have it in their hand, both hands on it, they're still swatting at that ball. They're trying to make things tough early here for the Wolves.
Wolves are trying to dribble through trouble right now, and it's kind of a tough thing to be able to do that, especially when you got players with quick hands like Albany.
And there's a 2-shot from Abby Anderson as she gets it laid in for 2 to make it 8-4 now on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Here come the Huskies the other way now, and they'll get it inside, back it out here to Finley. Finley on the near side. She'll dribble it back inside. Now give it off far side here to Pelzer. Pelzer for 3. It's no good, but it's going to be rebounded by Garrett's. Garrett's shot is no good, but it's going to bounce out of bounds. Last touch by the Milaca Wolves. And how important are rebounds going to be here in this game for the Wolves?
Well, we talked a little bit on our way here about the height of Albany. It's going to have to be a very fundamentally sound game for the Wolves, being able to get hands in the face, but also being able to box out.
And that shot no good from 3, and it's going to be rebounded by Abby Anderson. She'll give it off now to Gothman. Gothman will give it off on the far side to Solstrom. Solstrom will dribble back towards the top of the key, and she wanted to go to Cramlett. Said she'll let her go to the far side. Now it's to Gothman. Gothman near side, top of the key now to Cramlett. Cramlett will give it back inside to Hunt. Hunt trying to drive inside. She had a lane there, but poked out and stolen away again by Garrett's. And Garrett's will look to bring it up the court now for Albany. She gives it off on the far side to Pelzer. Pelzer pauses, waits for Cramlett to come nearer, and then she'll dribble back towards the top of the key and kind of get the offense set. That ball a little bit low, but Van Heel picks it up off the floor, and then a steal there for Gothman. And Gothman now brings it up the court for Milaca. And how big is a turnover like that for the Wolves to grab, as they're now only down by 4?
And that was just a simple play of sinking on defense, but kind of the Husky player that passed the ball, I didn't catch the name, but I think it might have been Garrett's, just waiting a little too long to turn and see that. It was a design play to go back door and just waited for the defense to get there, but good sink on defense to get it.
And Cramlett with a college 3 to pull her team within 1. It's 8-7 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Nice job by Cramlett, just realizing she had an open shot and taking it.
And that's something we talked about during the pregame too, is not being able to kind of take that proverbial punch from Albany in the early going and being able to stick with them.
And you can hear their fans now getting into it, trying to help boost their team's morale. And that shot is up and no good. Rebounded here. It's going to be Gothman with the rebound, and she'll bring it front court now. She gives it off to Cramlett. And that's one thing, if you're Milaca, that you've got to be okay with, is the fact that you've got players who can pretty much shoot it from anywhere, and you've got a multitude of them who can shoot it from anywhere, so you got to be okay with that. As we got 12:40 left here in the first half, it's 8-7 Albany leads, but Milaca right now passing the ball around. They leave Cramlett open top of the key, and that's in as well.
That's a great shot by Cramlett, but they had Abby Anderson had a beautiful seal on the low post for the lob pass that they didn't go for. I don't think they seen it right away, but Anderson had a complete seal with nobody behind her.
Cramlett drops it through to make it 10-8 the lead here for Milaca, and Albany will drop it in from Alyssa Sand, who drops it in for 2 to tie it at 10 apiece here in the first half, creeping up on 12 minutes to go. And that passing was just a beautiful job there by Milaca. Now we're going to get a travel, and you know, we don't talk a lot about, you know, travels and things as such that are turnovers, but those are turnovers nonetheless. And how important are those to try and avoid those kind of mental mistakes like travels and grabbing the ball cleanly, making sure you've got a hold of it so it doesn't roll into the other team's hands and or out of bounds?
A team like Albany has so many different ways that they can beat you, especially defensively. And if you give yourselves a chance, that's when you're going to have an opportunity to be able to win a game like this. But if you end up beating yourself, that's when you have the unforced errors and the situations where you could end up giving up points.
And that 3-shot no good. It's Gothman with the rebound. She'll take it inside, back it out to the perimeter. Now she gives it off to Sahlstrom. We had a couple sub in here for Albany that we'll get to in just a moment, but Cramlett has it on the far side. Guarded well, then she backs it out top of the key to Sahlstrom. Now back to Cramlett. Cramlett looks, she drifts towards the top of the key. She'll give it off now to Gothman. Gothman looking, she drives into a double team, then backs out. Now she's going to get fouled, and that'll be the first foul here on Albany. That's going to go on Tatum Finley for the Huskies first.
Good aggressive play by Gothman to try to be able to make something happen there, but at the same time being able to dribble into and out of some pressure and being able to just allow that foul to happen. Albany's going to be aggressive, and they're going to pick up a lot of fouls.
And this inbound goes to Gothman, and Gothman will look. She'll try and set something up. She drifts to the far side. She wants to go to Cramlett, turns around, spins back towards the near side, gives it off to Sahlstrom. Sahlstrom will stand. She's trying to find somewhere to go. Now she'll give it to Cramlett, and Cramlett stands at the SJU logo, the U part of it, and now gives it off to Gothman. Inside here to Anderson. Anderson really has no shot. She'll give it off now to Gothman. Maybe got away with the travel there, but they did not catch it, and now it's Gothman with it. Gothman circles the perimeter, drives inside. Nice spin move, but she has to pull it down as the tall defender was there, and now
3 second, yeah. When she got into the lane, she was spinning around. She didn't vacate the lane as soon as she passed it, and that was something that she was going to need to do, which created the turnover. But otherwise, it was a beautiful setup, got herself in, collapsed the defense. It just didn't start to develop as quickly as it needed to for the shot to be able to be good.
We do get a substitution here from Milaca. It's Ashley Drugsma who checks into the game for the Wolves.
Lillian Voss also into the lineup.
Yes, Lillian Voss wearing that number 1, and again, this team so good at being able to get players in off the bench and being able to get them their shots that they look for as Abby Anderson grabs that rebound, and it's quickly up the court to Cramlett, and now she'll give it off to Drugsma. Drugsma stands on the near side. She looks, finds nothing. Now we'll give it off to Voss. Voss, she wants to drive inside, guarded well though by the Husky defender, and she'll get that ball tipped, and jump ball call. Great job there by Milaca to hop back on top of that one as the possession arrow, don't know who it faces.
I think it's going to be Albany's ball, and that was just a matter of, I'm not sure if it was deflected or Voss seemed like she kind of double clutched like, no, and she kind of short-armed it a little bit, and it kind of threw it right at the feet of the defender.
And that's something that I think we didn't really mention, but I think it should be is just confidence. Is playing with confidence is so key, especially in a game like this, because confidence can permeate throughout a team, as we see a 2 there from Melissa Sand, but confidence can really change momentum in a game.
And that's just a beautiful steal by Sand, being able to just get the ball high and keep it high. You get a tall post player like that, you got to be able to utilize that height and get right to the basket.
12-10 with 9.5 minutes to go. Cramlett just a little bit off on that shot. It looked a little bit awkward coming out of her hand as Sand will get the rebound for the Huskies. Now she'll give it off to number 11. That's Van Heel. Back it outside, top of the key to Schwenzfire.
Easier for you to say.
Schwenzfire, one of those two. I apologize if I'm botching that to any Albany fans listening. And we're going to get a foul here on Abby Anderson of the Wolves. Her first, team's second. And it's going to be Schwenzfire. Excuse me. First one is up and good. I'm probably just going to call her Eva from now on.
There you go.
Make it a little bit easier on myself. That foul on Abby Anderson, and Eva makes the first one. Does not get the second one to fall, and it's rebounded by Ashley Drugsma. And so far, about 50% for Albany on the, and not aware of where she was. Lillian Voss stepped on that boundary line and kept her foot on the boundary line as she received the ball on the pass, and that's a mental mistake that Milaca just couldn't have right there.
A mental mistake by Lillian Voss, but also a good defensive play by Albany, just kind of not allowing that easy pass through on the baseline. Like, nope, you're going to have to step out of bounds, and if you don't get back in time, either the pass isn't going to be there or it's going to be a turnover.
Inside to Garretts. Garretts tries to find something open. Instead passes it now on the far side to Pelzer. Pelzer wanted the three, gives it off near side to Holtas. Holtas will give it off to Eva. Eva, she'll give it back now to Garretts, and Garretts working at that as part of the SJU logo. Gives it off far side to Holtoss. Holtoss for three is long, but easily rebounded by Van Heel. Now Eva will drive inside. A layup. That's going to be no good. Through some hands, but Cramlett is going to bring in the rebound for the Wolves. Cramlett will bring it up the court on the far side. She tries to find a lane past the defender, but great job there by the defender Holtoss to close off that lane to the basket. As now Voss has it, gives it off. Or excuse me, that was not Voss who had it, but Voss got it. And now Cramlett has it, top of the key. She got a nice screen from Voss. Thought she could have put up a shot, but then we're going to get Voss for a travel and another turnover here from Milaca. And unfortunately for Milaca, they've had a lot of opportunities, just unfortunately turnovers have really been a huge part and not keeping them off the board.
And Voss has had a couple of turnovers. The sophomore is starting to, I don't know that, she's getting into her own head, but, thinking about it a little bit and kind of moving before her feet are set. But I've been very impressed with the patience that Milaca is showing on offense.
As that ball goes behind the intended receiver for Albany, it will go back to Milaca on the turnover. So Milaca catching a break there, as we want to thank Wellia Health for sponsoring this video broadcast of today's Section 6AA quarterfinal matchup. They are helping student athletes shine. Sports medicine services from Wellia Health offered at all three locations in Mora, Pine City, and Hinckley. Again, thanks to Wellia Health for sponsoring today's video broadcast. If they don't sponsor us, we can't bring you video from this. So thank you so much to Wellia Health. As now Milaca has it back, it will be Drugsma who puts up a 2, and she turns around. I like the idea, but just a little bit off, and maybe had a chance to give that one off. I saw Hunt open up last second, but unfortunately she didn't see her. As now the Albany Huskies have it back. It is going to be Pelzer. Pelzer works with it. She'll give it off to Finley. Finley stands. She kind of gives a head nod of where she wants her teammate to go, Garretts, and she'll give it off to Garretts. Stands at the top of the key, trying to drive inside, backs it out now, and now it's Finley who has it. She drives inside, puts up a shot. Nice shot, but no good, and rebounded by Sahlstrom. And back the other way come the Wolves. Sahlstrom lost it for a moment there, brings it back. She'll stand. She'll wait for something to open up. Now looks. Wants to give it off near side here to Drugsma. Drugsma back to Hunt. Hunt on the far side to Sahlstrom. Goes inside to Lillian Voss, and that pass just a little too high, but it's going to stay with the Wolves as it goes out of bounds off of Albany.
It was tipped on the way through, but just kind of instinctually reaching at the basketball. But, like I said, Milaca's been patient. They're moving the ball very well as well. They're not getting stagnant. They're not getting stuck in corners. They're not getting, double-teamed very easily. They're moving the ball quickly and spacing the floor.
And Albany gets a couple of substitutions and a swish on the three there from Cramlett as she ties the game at 13. And Cramlett really been a key here in this first half for the Milaca Wolves. She has 9 of their 13 points right now.
Just a tremendous shooting from the outside, and that's something they're going to need to be able to have, almost a steal.
And they'll give it inside now and back outside to Finley. Now on the near side to Pelzer. Pelzer guarded well by Cramlett. She fakes the shot, drives inside, tries to give it off to Sand, and it's going to be over her head, stolen away by Sahlstrom. It really just fell right into Sahlstrom's lap, and she took it away. They'll have it up in the front court now, will Milaca. And now she gives it off to Voss, does Cramlett. Voss now over to Drugsma. Drugsma will stand at the top of the key. She looks, she's, again, that patience that you're talking about is really paying off.
Huskies look like they're set up in kind of a zone.
Hunt shot is no good, and still fighting for the rebound down there, but Sand will take it away for the Huskies. As now trying to set the pace. Pelzer drives inside, and going to have it nearly stolen, but we get a foul on Albany.
Hunt got a piece of it, but trying to reach in there was Natalie Blonigan, trying to get a piece of that one, trying to knock it away, but just a little too aggressive trying to get the ball.
Tied at 13 with 5:47 to go here in the first half. It's been a pretty quick moving first half. Neither team has taken a timeout yet. We haven't seen too many fouls. It's been pretty clean. There's going to be another one, though, on Albany. That's going to go against number 13, Tatum Finley, so that'll be her second. And if you're a Milaca, you're pretty happy with where you're at right now, but you could be playing better and potentially be leading this game.
Yeah, I mean, fouls are 3-2. Turnovers have kind of been a story to a certain extent, but haven't been overwhelming. That's been something they've been eliminating the turnovers, not giving up the basketball, and not shooting themselves in the foot.
Sahlstrom gets a screen, but it's going to be a carry.
As I say that.
By Sahlstrom. So Sahlstrom, unfortunately, as they get the turnover plus 2 fouls to go along with it, they unfortunately get the turnover back and give it to the Huskies. So And that's going to be one thing that I think Milaca is going to want to correct, is making sure that they capitalize off of the turnovers and or breaks that they get, if you want to call it. As now they go inside to Blon again. Her shot no good, does not get the friendly bounce. Fighting for the rebound and getting it is Lillian Voss. And I mean, she fought for that rebound.
That's a great fight there by her to be able to get in position, but then also be able to just force her way to be able to get that and make sure she secures it as Albany tries to go with their tall lineup.
As we'll get a timeout here by Milaca, the Wolves. And again, we want to thank Wellia Health for sponsoring this live video broadcast. Thanks to Wellia Health, as they want to remind you that they want to help your student athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at all Wellia Health campuses. Thanks again to Wellia Health for sponsoring this broadcast.
Welcome.
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 Welcome to a new era in healthcare.
With expert caregivers
In advanced facilities,
we help you live
in the best way possible.
Engaged, encouraged, and well.
So welcome.
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 Welcome to the new Wellia Health.
Live life well.
And back here, and going to be a foul here on Albany's number 2, Pelzer, as we come back from commercial break. Pelzer is going to get that foul call, and Andy, the foul there on that one.
A little bit touchy, a little bit, whatever. Albany didn't seem to really be a big fan of it, but, that's something I think we talked a little bit before we went on air, that, sometimes you're going to have some calls that are kind of questionable, but the biggest thing is it going to be consistent on both sides?
Right, absolutely. As the Wolves do have it back, it's going to be Gothman with it on the pass from Droogsma. Gothman has it. She'll give it back to Droogsma now, and Droogsma will drift to the top of the key. Droogsma drifts now to the near side. It's poked out, going to stay with Milaca. Poked out there by Garrett's. And we've got a lot of Albany fans, as you've mentioned before, but they're just right up the road, not too far away from here. And looks like the Albany head coach not too happy with the call, Aaron Boyum.
It looked like it went off of her foot, but they get the steal anyway.
So there goes Pelzers, and that feels like that one is more or less of a, okay, I'm sick of this kind of thing, where she just took it over herself and said, I am going to do something about it. As she did, and she'll score 2 there. That time will Pelzer. And now Droogsma trying to get out of a little bit of a full court press. She stops her dribble, gives it off to Sahlstrom. Sahlstrom now working on the Husky defender. She looks for a screen, not going to get it, as the defender does a nice job to get around it. Pelzer going to get another steal here for Albany. A one-on-one. She gets it up, and no foul call. Surprised on that one, as now that rebound going to be up for grabs. Now we're going to get a foul call.
I was just going to say a few minutes ago that now's an opportunity for Milaca to try to take advantage, because on the bench right now is the all-world guard Tatum Finley, but Milaca has had a couple of turnovers and given the ball away a couple of times and not been able to take advantage of the opportunity in front of them.
And it is now 16-13 after the made free throw there by Garrett's. And by the way, that last foul was on Willow Hunt. And so 2 turnovers have led to points here for the Huskies, as Garrett's can only hit 1 of 2, but it is rebounded by the Huskies. That's going to be number 1, Sand, who gets the rebound. It's going to go out of bounds off of Albany, and checking in for the Albany Huskies is going to be number 20, Sophia Schiffler.
We have not had any shortage of physical play after that rebound. She tried to drive hard, lowered her shoulder when she went in, and just lost it when she got to the rim. But we've seen Milaca is setting some pretty strong screens at the other end, and Albany's fighting right through them.
They are, but there's a nice screen from Cramlett, and that's one thing that I've noticed from Milaca. They are not afraid of anything that they're doing right now. They're very confident with their game plan. They're very confident of what they're doing, and they're just willing to body up the Albany Huskies right now.
You can definitely tell this is definitely not a team. Oh, and that was, they got the foul, which I think kind of bailed out Holthouse, because I think that she dribbled that one a little high, kind of in the area of a carry or a double dribble, but I think she got kind of bailed out a little bit on the foul.
Yeah, it'll be the second on Sahlstrom, 4th for the Milaca Wolves, and it's going to be stolen away here by Gothman. Gothman, a one-on-one opportunity, and no foul call on that one. They're going to say it was a clean steal, and then keeping it alive is Alyssa Sand. She puts it up and in for a long 2-3. I couldn't tell. It is a long 2 for Alyssa Sand.
What a sequence. The coaching staff for Milaca saying that she stepped on the sideline, and it should have been out of bounds right in front of us.
It was close, and I thought it was going to be a foul the other way, but that one going to go out of bounds. Last touch by Albany, but yeah, it looked like she was close to stepping on the line, and I would almost trust Milaca just because of the fact that they're right there. But wow, what a sequence of plays that we just had. Turnovers all of a sudden becoming a little bit more of a problem here late in this first half.
And this is something Milaca's going to have to try to be able to control, as now they're having a hard time getting the ball in.
And that's going to be the 5-second clock that ran all the way out on Sahlstrom, and Albany did a good job there of covering all the Wolves. But now if you're Milaca, all of a sudden momentum has been heavily shifted to the way of the purple and black of Albany.
Albany trying to finish strong, finish the half strong, have momentum going into that second half. But really the biggest thing right now, Milaca just needs to settle down, play the way they've played the entire time, and not let this lead get to them.
As we get a jump ball call, possession arrow will favor the Wolves, and they will get it on that jump ball. And you can see things are getting a little bit more chippy as we go along here in this first half. And obviously, these two teams played each other already twice during the regular season. They're in the same section and conference. But, the third time around, I'm surprised it took this long to get a little bit chippy for both sides. But it is, I suppose this turns into more of a rivalry game in this situation. But a nice drive there by Bella Sahlstrom.
That's a solid answer for Milaca to be able to get it back to a one-possession game. We still have a lot of time left in the game, but it's easy when you get to 5, 7, 8 points to start thinking, oh, it's over, oh, they're going to run away with it. But if you can keep it close, you keep that confidence, you keep the way you're playing.
Absolutely, and Milaca has battled hard here in this first half. They're within 3 as we get a timeout called here by the Albany Huskies. Again, we want to thank Wellia Health for sponsoring the live video broadcast for today. They want to remind you that they're there to help your athletes stay in the game. Dr. Mullen and his staff are available at all Wellia Health campuses. Also, Embrace Orthodontics, the custom scoreboard, or custom braces or Invisalign with 3 locations in Pine City, Lynchburg, and Cambridge. Dr. Severs is also there, and he's committed to providing world-class orthodontic care in a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. They are also helping you find a smile you'll embrace forever. Of course, we thank all of the fine sponsors who sponsored today's broadcast and every other broadcast throughout the regular season and postseason. Thanks so much to all of our fine sponsors here. Timeout there by Albany. Now both teams have used 1. They'll be each left with 4 at 2:07 to go in this first half. The Huskies do lead 18-15 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard, but again, it has been physical, it has been tough, it has been fun to watch. Turnovers have become a little bit more of a problem here late in this first half, but both teams still very much fighting, and they know what's at stake.
And because of all of that, the physical play, the up and down play, the close game, it has become kind of emotional as well. You can definitely see, you mentioned the chippiness. When you get physical play in a close game, that's when you start seeing teams start get a little bit more chippy because it means a lot. Like, we're right there.
And a great job there on that screen getting around it was Sahlstrom. She saw it, but then she's going to get the foul on the reach-in, so that'll be her 3rd, and sadly she'll probably have to come take a seat for the rest of the first half.
Good aggressive play to try to be able to knock that play. That's one of those, if it works, it's brilliant. If it doesn't, that's not a smart play. But still, nonetheless, you can't just sit back and not play aggressive, and Milaca has definitely been aggressive today.
Absolutely. Drugsma will check in for Sahlstrom, and now the Huskies do have it on offense. They're got it on the far side there to Eva. And Eva will give it off now to Gerrits. Gerrits drives inside, spin move, nice spin move, and puts it up and in for 2. And after a spin move like that, you almost have to make it in, as that was a nice move by her. But now the Milaca Wolves have it the other way. They'll try and answer here with 1:20 to go and bring this back within a possession, as it's Anderson who has it. She'll give it back outside to Willow Hunt. Hunt looks, she wanted to go to Cramlin, does go to Cramlin, and it's behind her. And unfortunately there for Milaca, that's a turnover that you don't want to have at this point in the half with 1:09 to go, and Albany seemingly getting points on every possession now.
And that's one of those plays that you kind of need to commit to it. And you said that before. Have the confidence to either commit or don't. Don't go back to it unless it's still there. But you got to know that the other player's going to make a move.
Now inside to Pelzer. She'll back it outside here to Holtas, and Holtas will give it into Eva. Eva will take it to the basket and put it up and in for two.
Good aggressive move and a good left-handed layup against a taller defender trying to reach over the top in Anderson. Almost came away with it, but able to get that nice lay-in.
Full court press here from Albany, and now Droogsma will take it up the court. Nice job to get into the front court there. She had the defender racing after her, and she was able to get into the front court. Now she gives it off to Gothman. Gothman looking to get around the defender. Nice job. She pulls up, and no good on the shot, but she's going to get to go to the line and shoot two with 28 seconds to go in the first half.
Would have been a nice one to be able to get to fall if it would have just snuck over the top of the rim, potentially be able to get this down to a 5-point ball game before the halftime break.
Gothman at the line to shoot two. It'll be the 5th team foul on Albany, the first on Eva. And Gothman's first one gets a friendly bounce and drops through. Make it 22-16. So now the Wolves down by 6, trying to get this second one to drop through and make it 5. That one's going to be through cleanly from Gothman to make it 22-17. In favor of Albany with 25 seconds to go, and I'm guessing Albany will be taking that last shot of the half. They work it around here. Now with it is Sand. She'll give it off to Garrets, and Garrets, she'll give it off to Pelzer. Pelzer will stand on the near side. She'll work back towards the middle. Now she drives the side, finds a lane she likes, pulls up with 5 seconds to go, drops it through.
It's a beautiful play and just a beautiful stop and pop for the for Pelzer, just being able to get to a position on the floor where she feels comfortable and then just stop and hit something nice.
So we're at halftime here at St. John's University at Sexton Arena, where the Albany Huskies lead over your Milaca Wolves 24-17. Again, thank you to Wellia Health for sponsoring the video live feed here of this game. Again, they are a proud sponsor of their local high schools and athletes. They want to wish all the girls good luck in the 2023 playoffs. The score on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard sees the Wolves trail the Huskies 24-17 at half. Embrace Orthodontics, your customized smile journey starts with a free consultation. The team at Embrace Orthodontics wants to make your journey as seamless and convenient as possible with custom braces or Invisalign. Of course, they will do all the insurance heavy lifting for you, and if you don't have insurance, ask about financing options. They'll find a plan to fit your budget at EmbraceMN.com. So at halftime here, Huskies lead over the Wolves 24-17. Again, thanks to Wellia Health for sponsoring today's video stream.
Welcome.
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 Welcome to a new era in healthcare.
With expert caregivers
and advanced facilities,
we help you live
in the best way possible.
Engaged, encouraged, and well.
So welcome.
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 Welcome to the new Wellia Health.
Live life well.
Homemade, made fresh. It's that simple at Whitney's Country Cafe in Sandstone. And if you enjoy handcrafting meals like all-day breakfast, soups, chili, burgers, and pasta Alfredo, Whitney's Country Cafe in Sandstone is looking for you. Whitney's is hiring experienced cooks and prep cooks right now. Competitive pay and a great team environment with a cozy local cafe feel. Cooks wanted in Sandstone. Apply in person at Whitney's Country Cafe, 420 Main Street in Sandstone, or message Whitney's Country Cafe on Facebook.
Since 1967, Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley, has been where to go for all your building projects. Let Gerald Schmidt help you with designing, remodeling, or any new construction. Schmidt Construction specializes in residential home building, agricultural, industrial, and commercial buildings, with expert advice on all of your building projects and ideas. When you hire a contractor to take care of your building needs, you can't do better than Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley. 320-384-7901.
Stones Throw Golf Course, nestled along the scenic Rum River in Milaca, is open to the public. They are owned by its members, so every decision made is made by golfers for golfers. Stones Throw Golf Course challenges the serious golfer with a thought-provoking layout, while at the same time relaxing the casual player with its wonder and scenic beauty. It's more than a golf course. It's memories made with family and friends. 18 holes of golfing bliss on some of the best greens this side of the Mississippi. We look forward to seeing you in the spring.
This is Paul Jackson, broker owner of Hewitt Jackson Real Estate in Milaca, located across from Casey's General Store. We have been serving the local community for the past 17 years and would like to wish the Wolves a great experience in playoffs. Come visit our website at www.hewittjacksonrealestate to view not only our listings, but all the listings across the state of Minnesota. And again, go Wolves!
Back here on Nice 95.5 FM KBEK. We're at halftime here at St. John's University at Sexton Arena, where the Milaca Wolves trail the Albany Huskies 24-17. As we take a look at your stat leaders there on the side of the Milaca Wolves, 9 for Lydia Cramlett, then 2 for Bella Sahlstrom, and then also for Gothman, Hunt, and Anderson, They had 4 total steals there in that first half. They did wind up, unfortunately, with 15 turnovers, 6 for Albany. And on the side for Albany, 8 points for Alyssa Sand, 7 for Pelzer, then 3 for Finley, Garretts, and Eva, as they lead 24-17 over the Milaca Wolves. So the first half is done and over with here. But, Andy, what did you think of that first half for Milaca?
Well, I think that some of the things that jump out to me, and right first and foremost, is that they weren't afraid. There are so many teams, especially in high school basketball, and you see that up and down the line. It doesn't matter who it is. So many times where you go into a game, and maybe you experienced this when you're in high school. You go into a game, you're like, okay, this is Albany. Oh my God, we're going to go up against one of the top teams in the state. Whatever it may be, and it's just you have that mindset. Milaca did not have that mindset. They had the mindset of, Albany should be thinking that about us. We're going to get after them. We're going to play hard defense. We're going to be physical. We're going to rebound the basketball, and we're going to be patient on offense. That's the other big thing that stands out to me is how patient Milaca was on offense. None of their shots seemed forced. They did have more turnovers. That's the third thing is the turnovers. They have to shore that up. Turnovers at halftime, 15-5. And Milaca wants to try to come away with this victory. They're going to have to try to be able to keep better care of the basketball because a lot of the turnovers were not things that were steals or things like that. It was unforced errors. We've seen a couple of travels, a couple of double dribbles, ball just thrown inexplicably out of bounds, trying to be able to get it to somebody, not necessarily forcing the ball, but just not looking where you're going with the basketball. And that's something that Milaca is going to have to shore up, and they definitely can shore up because those are not defensive push type of things. Those are unforced errors on that one. On the other side, of the 6 turnovers that Albany had, 4 of them were steals for Milaca. So they're playing good defense. They're rebounding the basketball. They're getting after it, but they're going to have to try to keep track of the ball on offense and not create turnovers, not shoot themselves in the foot. Albany's going to create their own turnovers, but don't do it to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, Milaca, they just did not back away from this competition here, and they've come in and looked really good. And you talk about the patience there that they were showing on offense. Other than the turnovers that they did have in the first half, the patience they have showed on offense, I just got to say that is, I feel like it has really kept them in this one because it has led to them, again, being patient, but also finding the open shots and not really forcing anything that you mentioned before. But again, opening shots up for yourselves to find that easier, I shouldn't say easier, but a little bit of a better lane to run through. And we've seen them get around the defenders here in this first half and drive to the basket. And I think that's been a huge part of the offense here in the first half. Again, if you eliminate some of those turnovers here in the second half, this is a completely different look of this game at halftime.
Absolutely, and that's something Milaca has had their opportunities. They've been able to, like you said, being able to drive and get to the basket a little bit. Sometimes they're getting affected by, Albany has a ton of height. We're not going to deny that. That's something that is definitely a factor. Whether you adjust to have like a mid-range jumper or something else, when you're going after it, whatever the adjustment needs to be, might be something that they're going to have to look at. But that's something that you can look at as a positive. They're able to get past their defender and get into that position. If nothing else, do kind of like, I think it was Kevin Durant the other day. You get past your defender, they kind of like back into him a little bit, force them to stay on your back while you survey the rest of the defense. You now have a 5-on-4 with the defender on your back. Somebody's going to be open because there's help coming to you from somewhere. Be able to draw that defender. Another thing I'd like to see Milaca maybe be able to do a little bit in the second half, try to use some of their height to a little bit of an advantage. They've gone inside a little bit, but just here and there. Their shooting from the perimeter has been fantastic so far in the first half. Albany's been way off from downtown, but at the same time, you want to still be able to have that offense, still be able to get open looks and be able to get solid looks. And I think that they're able to get them, but usually what happens is they're getting the ball inside to Anderson or into Willow Hunt and then backing it out. You put that inside, it forces the defense, not whether they collapse or not, they're turning around and looking. And then you kick it back out, and now you get the defender spinning. They're going back and forth. You get an easier look for the perimeter jump shot. If nothing else, you get Anderson has had a couple of times where she's had a beautiful seal that they just didn't see it on a backdoor feed. And if nothing else, you get that defender coming on the weak side to be able to get the help over there, and then you kick it back out for another perimeter jump shot there too. So using that interior is something that I think that Milaca hasn't done a ton of in the first half that I think might be an area of opportunity that they could exploit a little bit in the second half.
Absolutely, and foul-wise, both teams had 5 here in the first half, so we've seen during the regular season a lot more fouls in a half, and we've also seen less, but a pretty even first half. We've seen it get a little bit chippy towards the end of the first half. We've seen the little bit of rival come out in both of these teams, and they know what's at stake. They know what it means to win this game and move on as Albany wants to defend that number 1 seed that they have. Milaca, like you mentioned before, they're coming in saying, no, they need to worry about us, and I think they did rattle Albany a little bit with those long threes from Cramlett, and I think that's one of the things that they need to do here again in the second half. But quickly, before we get started in this second half, what is a big key for the second half for the Milaca Wolves in your opinion?
Just continuing to be patient on offense, not forcing things. They are down right now by 7, but that's nothing as long as you're patient. Albany's going to try to come out. They're going to continue to press. Be patient and don't let that press get to you. Don't let that affect what you're doing.
Absolutely. So
dictate the pace.
Yes, halftime is over, as the Albany Huskies will start with it here, as that Embrace Orthodontics has 18 minutes back up on it here in the second half. Embrace Orthodontics, custom braces, or Invisalign with 3 locations in Pine City, Lindstrom, and Cambridge. Obviously, we want to thank Wellia Health for sponsoring today's video stream. Driving inside and not getting the kind roll that time are the Huskies, and it's going to be rebounded by Abby Anderson. The Wolves will go right to left on your radio dial. The Huskies left to right here in this second half. The Wolves with their white away unis. Albany wearing their home purple, as it's on the far side here to Gothman. Gothman lost it for a moment, spins around, tries to drive inside, backs it out to Cramlett. Cramlett gets a nice screen there from Abby Anderson. She'll back it out now to Gothman. Gothman will take it from inside, a long shot, but banks it in.
That's that play I was talking about. You get penetration in there, you kick it back out, you get that defense moving back and forth and not being able to track the basketball.
And what a shot there by Gothman to get that over the defender's hand and drop it in for 2 high off the board.
It was a jumper, but it was kind of a teardrop.
Yeah, absolutely. As shot is no good, but Van Heel for the Huskies will get the rebound, and they'll have it back. Garrett gets it back outside to Pelzer. She hit a 3 earlier. She will not that time, as Alyssa Sands get the rebound. And did we have 2 teammates fighting for that one? It looked like almost. No, it was Sahlstrom worked her way in there, and we get a jump ball. Possession arrow will favor the Wolves. Sahlstrom worked her way in there and said, I will take this ball no matter what. She gets the jump ball call, and now the Wolves will work through a little bit of a full court pressure from the Huskies, and now it's going to be Hunt who has it. Hunt will look for Cramlett. Cramlett has it. She stands at the S part of the SJU logo. Still looking for a lane. She's going to drive inside, and now will look to kick it back out, trying to find someone. She does. It'll be Gothman. Gothman stands with it on the far side, looking for a screen. Kind of got it, but then defender did a good job of getting around it. Now we're going to get a travel call here.
Just one too many steps when she tried to pick up her dribble when she got, that's what we were talking about. When you get inside, they got that height to be able to affect what you're doing, and you either have to get after it and try to go Euro step around it or try to just attack it and draw the foul, or you have to stop before you get there.
Absolutely. We're going to almost a double screen on Cramlett, but she works through it. That ball is tipped inside to Alyssa Sand. It almost works better that way. And then a three on the other side from Tatum Finley. She drops it in to make it 27-19 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard.
Defensively, I like what Milaca has done in the second half. They did it a little bit in the first half, but they have collapsed on the inside. They're not going to let Albany beat them on the inside. They've forced them to do a lot of perimeter jump shots. They were 1 of 7 from downtown. They've already missed a couple of threes. They did just hit that three, but I think you're willing to sacrifice that if you're willing to be able to prevent easy layups inside.
Alyssa Sand got a block, but they're going to get her for the foul. Oh, no, it's going to be on number 11 instead. They call Van Heel for the foul. Oh, it'll be her first, and of course Albany's first of the second half, and as Willow Hunt lines up for 2. First one. No good.
Apologize.
No, that's okay.
Mentioned at the halftime, you had mentioned that fouls there were a 5 apiece. Really nobody with foul trouble except for Sahlstrom has 3. We'll kind of monitor that, but if we get to probably about 12 or to 10 minutes and she still only has 3, then you don't have to worry about fouls at all.
Absolutely. As Willow Hunt drops in the second of 2. She missed the first one, so it's 27-20. And now pulling up is Pelzer. The shot no good there and rebounded by Garrett. She tries to take a shot. That's no good. She gets fouled. And she'll go to the line to shoot 2. And
that was something I was going to point out at halftime, too, that rebounding edge, it was 10-10 in rebounds, but all 10 rebounds from Milaca were on the defensive board. They didn't have a single offensive board, but 6 out of the 10 at halftime were offensive boards for Albany. Wow. So they're crashing the boards on that side, mainly because of the height. Milaca's going to have to try to shore that up on that end.
Absolutely. As Garrett hits the first, she'll hit 2 of 2 there, make it 29-20. And if you're Milaca, again, we know how good this Albany defense is. They don't need to score a lot of points, a lower scoring first half for both of these teams. But if you're Milaca, I got to imagine you're okay with where this is at for now because you're only down by 9. I got to imagine, though, once it gets into double digits, that's when the pace might start to pick up for Milaca, I got to assume.
Yeah, as long as they stay patient on offense and don't shoot themselves in the foot, I think they'll stay in this game and be able to try to chip away at it. Now you're starting to get into that area where you start thinking like, okay, now we're shooting from the logo, thinking it's 4 points from there. You don't need to do that. We got lots of time left in the game. You don't need to force shots kind of like that one from well beyond what you maybe should be shooting. It's 9 points. We got 14 minutes left to go.
Absolutely.
Let's get it to 7 points in the next minute and a half. Let's get it to 5 points in the next 2 minutes after that, and then you're right in that ballgame. You don't trade buckets. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. And Cramlett, she took that one. She missed. Now, she scored 9 points in the first half, all from three-point range, so I got to imagine that you got to be comfortable with her taking shots, but that one, like you said, was a little bit forced, it felt like, as Cramlett will get the rebound there and the missed shot from Albany. But, yeah, you want to be taking shots that are a little bit closer. That was from college range there, and she just missed as that one's going to go off the foot of Willow Hunt. And unfortunately, what should have stayed with Milaca, Hunt, it had to go off her foot.
It was off of Willow Hunt's foot, but it was created by Tatum Findlay. Got her hand in there, just poked that one away just a little bit to knock it off of the foot.
And we've seen that aggressiveness from Albany in the first half as, wow, Pelzer will drive to the basket, drop it in for 2. Almost too easy for her that time, but she did a good job to find the lane through. But, yeah, Albany, we've seen that in the first half. They started to be aggressive. But how, if you're Milaca, how do you turn that aggressiveness against Albany themselves?
Well, you try to be able to just get fouls. You try to drive into that a little bit, and then you utilize when they sink in to try to be able to get a hand on there, kick it back out to where that offensive player is, and utilize that space.
Alyssa Sand, who got the rebound on the other end from the awkward shot from Cramlett, gets the shot to fall for 2 to make it 33-20 here with under 13 and a half to go in half number 2 in this Section 6AA quarterfinal game. Cramlett will drive to the basket. She gets fouled, and she'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Milaca's not closing out on defense very good. Their help side defense has become a little bit less help side and more on the ball defense, and so the lanes are opening up on the other end for Albany, and this is where you start to see the game it's dangerously close to a tipping point of tumbling away.
As that one will not be 2 shots. Instead, it will be just inbounded by Sahlstrom. She gets it into Gothman. Gothman looking for a screen from Cramlett, but wow, Garrett's did a good job to get around that screen and create some problems. Now the ball will get to Cramlett. Cramlett wanted 3, but wisely pulled it down and gives it off to Hunt. And that ball, poked out by Sand, but
that's exactly what we were talking about. Toss that one in there, force the defense. They're playing aggressive. Let her reach out, get that ball in front of her. You're going to get a foul. If nothing else, just ramp up the fouls. They'll start getting frustrated. They might start backing off a little bit.
Absolutely, and that's going to be huge for the Albany Huskies because that's already their 3rd here in the second half, getting more fouls here early on than they did in the first half. So if you're Albany head coach, you've got to be a little concerned with the rate of fouls that you're getting them at.
To a certain extent, they go about 8-9 deep on their bench, and so I think that they're a little less worried about it, but at the same time, you don't want too much of it to happen.
Willow Hunt will pull up from long 2, banks it off the backboard, in for 2, and that was a smart shot there by her.
She tried to direct traffic a little bit, but it just wasn't there, and a good job by her not forcing the pass and creating a turnover. Just turn around, face up. Oh, the defender's backed off. All right, I'll just go ahead and knock it down.
That's exactly what she did. It was a very intelligent shot there by her, just realizing where the defenders were at and realizing, hey, I can get that open shot if I want it. That's going to be no good, but it's going to be rebounded by Blonigan for the Huskies and stolen away by Sahlstrom. Sahlstrom brings it up the court and Euro step through, bounce off the backboard in for 2.
Beautiful play by Sahlstrom to just step into that lane and knock that ball away and then use her speed. I like the fact, I was thinking in my mind, I'm like, really, this is a time to be able to back it off. But you had the defenders kind of leaning a little bit. Just go ahead and attack, force them to foul you.
33-24 after a double-digit deficit. Milaca's dripped it down to 9 now, and that ball's going to be no good on the 3. Sahlstrom going to pick up her rebound. And even though with 3 rebounds, she's playing aggressive and been getting some key rebounds and points here.
Great entry pass. Got to get a little better shot on that one, but great job by Anderson. Set up almost right underneath the basket. She got real deep in the lane on that one.
And again, back to what you talked about, just throw it inside. Try and get that shot. If anything, you might get a foul or eventually them to back off, but could not get the roll on the ball that she would have liked, and it was missed, but now the Albany Huskies have it. They're trying to pass it around, but Milaca doing a good job tightening down the defense. Albany hasn't had any open passes here on this possession. They'll get this one inside to Sand. Oh, my goodness, the spin on that ball gave her a kind roll in for 2.
That ended up being a bucket, but I would say that that's almost a win for the defensive possession for Milaca. They were able to get hands in the lane, force a tough shot.
And that pass almost stolen away. That one probably not the best of passes that they could have had, as this is a long 3 going to come up well short. Abby Anderson had it, but could not reel it in, and it will go back to Albany.
That's a longer shot than I think you want, but that's exactly what you want to do. Go inside. You draw the defense. They turn their head. Then you get an open look. A little deeper, but it was an open look.
Yes, absolutely. And again, maybe just next time tell, hey, take 1 step closer, then shoot that ball.
Step into the shot.
Yeah, there we go.
Your momentum to just bury it.
And while we have a quick moment here, we want to thank Welly Health for providing the sponsorship for the video stream here today. As now Albany has it. Look for a 3 there from Holtas, but they'll give it inside to Garrett's. Garrett's being harassed inside. She'll give it out to Holtas, and a whistle there. And we're going to get that one on Milaca. It'll be their 3rd here of the second half.
Said it was on the arm. I didn't see a ton of contact on that one, but maybe a little body contact, but not a ton of contact on the attempt.
And now Holtas will go to the line to shoot 2 with 10.5 minutes to go here in the second half. Of course, Wellia Health, thanks for sponsoring the live video stream. Wellia Health is here to keep you feeling your best so that you can enjoy all the things you love best. Count on them for eye exams, mental health services, rehabilitation, wellness exams, urgent care, and much more. Schedule by calling 320-679-1313. That Embrace Orthodontics, 10.5 minutes to go, 35-24. Milaca trails. Dr. Severs is committed to providing world-class orthodontic care in a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. You can start today at embracemn.com.
You know what the frightening and just shivering thing about the Albany squad? They have 2 seniors. One of them has not played at all.
Wow.
Van Heel is the other.
Wow, that they're going to get everyone back quite literally next year. And they'll be, once again, dangerous. But either way, it is 1 for 2 on that trip from Holtas, so it's a 36-24 lead now for Milaca. Oh, ill-advised pass inside, and it's going to be stolen away by Albany. That was a little bit too quick on that pass, I thought. Shot is up, no good. Rebounded by Sand. She'll put it back up and in for 2 plus the N1. It seemed a little rush there from Milaca. They were doing what you talked about, get it inside to try and back off the defenders from the perimeter, but that time Alyssa Sand just stuck her hand in and said, not this time. As Sand will look for the three-point play. It rattles around, but she does get it to fall.
You end up with getting likely more fouls, and it becomes a little bit more dangerous. But one of the things about Sand that I've noticed, when she gets the basketball, she brings it down to her waist. And so she ends up a lot of times with a ball sometimes that – and a good job by a coach to just yell timeout when the ball is scrambling on the ground. You have to get that timeout. What I was going to mention is, she brings the ball down to her waist. The smaller defenders that aren't going to be able to jump up and block the ball, you may have to start reaching and try to be able to tie that ball up low. Like I said, it gets dangerous as far as you start picking up ticky-tack fouls, but you have the opportunity to be able to steal that ball before she can go back up with it. Absolutely.
They're going to have to find something to go their way. They now trail by 15, 39-24 with 9:45 to go here. Second half on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics, helping you find a smile you embrace forever. Of course, Welly Health, helping student athletes shine. Sports medicine services from Welly Health offered at all 3 locations in Mora, Pine City, and Hinckley.
I will say I have to pass along one other note as I look at the roster. I mentioned how Albany's going to be right back in this type of situation as they continue to reload. You take a look at the other side of things. Milaca, currently the way their roster is constructed with the injury to Westling, granted Westling is senior, so she will be graduating. But otherwise, other than Westling, they only have one other senior, Abby Anderson.
Wow.
Otherwise, you have a ton of youth that's coming back. Bella Sahlstrom, a sophomore. Your guard, Madison Gothman, freshman.
That'll be interesting to see. I'm sure these two teams will be right back here next year. It'll be interesting to see. I wouldn't. Fair to say that it might be 1-2 these two teams next year.
Cramlin, a sophomore, so lots of players coming back for both squads.
Wow. It'll be very interesting to see these two squads. We hope they'll be back here next year, and again, they'll probably, I wouldn't surmise to say top 10 teams, if not top 5 in the section. Albany, though, year in and year out, just continues to be top 5, not just in the section, but in the state. So they'll return a lot of it next year as well. Abby Anderson working hard inside on Sand, and she gets fouled by Alyssa Sand as Abby Anderson.
And the coaching staff for Albany's not going to like that one, but at the same time, that is something that I talked about too. Be aggressive underneath. Try to draw some fouls. Force them to, try to knock the shot away. Force them to try to block the shot. Push the issue a little bit. Be aggressive.
And they were there. Abby Anderson worked, so hard to try and get around Alyssa Sand as her first one is up and no good. But she did a good job of working on Sand there. And I think she got Sand a little frustrated with the fact that Sand just couldn't get that ball away. She finally put up a shot. Ultimately, it was no good, but she got the foul call.
And that's something Albany, I don't think, has a ton of teams that are willing to just stand toe-to-toe and get aggressive with them. Why not? Why not us? Why can't it be us that takes this section? Why can't we go ahead and take them down?
As Anderson goes 0 for 2 on that round from free throws. And I'm sure as we go along in this half, free throws are going to be of that much more important. As now the ball will go inside to Garrett's, and we're going to get a foul before the shot was even taken. And the Albany head coach pretty upset. Referee telling him, hey, we gotta just be careful here.
He is definitely animated against the official. I think he was upset about the fact that on the lob pass, he tried to call the timeout before the lob pass. Well, the ball was in the air, and the official is saying you have to have possession of the ball to lob it. You can't just call it while it's in the air because, in theory, Milaca could steal that one away, and then you don't get the timeout. You can't just call it because it's going to be intercepted. And I think that's something that I think the coach is trying to argue because they ended up ultimately getting a bucket on the backside.
Right.
But I think that's something he wanted the timeout before that. But it happens. It's not a huge deal, just replay your offense and get back after it. But I think that's what he's upset about is he wanted it before the ball came down, or actually, before the ball came down, but I think he thought he called it before the ball was passed.
Okay. So that's what the confusion is on here for their head coach, Aaron Boyum, looking.
At least that's what I'm going to go with. That's what I'm going to say.
He's trying to explain to the referees just his thought process on it. But 9:09 to go here in the second half. The Albany Huskies do lead over the Milaca Wolves 39-24 here on 95.5 FM KBEK. Welly Health, thanks to them for sponsoring the video stream for this broadcast. Welly Health wants to remind you that they want your athlete to stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at all Wellia Health campuses. I know Bram was trailing at halftime to Uppsala over on 100.9, 28-20, but I'm sure that game pretty close here as the second half has begun, as now Alyssa Sand again gets the shot to fall plus the N1 opportunity.
That play right there was quintessential Albany. You get the ball inbounded, you rotate it around the perimeter quickly. The defense is still moving to get into position. It's an easy entry pass inside for Sand, who's taller than anybody on the court. Got great hands. The help side comes from the backside, but at that point, all you can do is foul her to be able to get the ball.
No good on her free throws. Cramlett will get the rebound, so it stays 41-24 with under 9 minutes to go. We've passed that halfway point. Lillian Voss will take a three. It's going to come up short, and one-handed rebound by Garretts, and she'll help Albany bring it the other way. Quickly up the court, she takes it, gives it off now to Eva. Now back at the top of the key for Pelzer for three. That's going to drain, and all of a sudden, the Albany Huskies have found their rhythm.
They've definitely found their rhythm, and they've created some turnovers and just been dominant on offense. And really, Milaca's played well, but just Albany, you can't hardly stop them on defense on the other end of the court right now.
And they'll try and go inside to Abby Anderson. Again, they want her to work hard on Alyssa Sand, maybe get her to get a few more fouls and try and get her off the court in this one, but not so there. She does get the rebound, does Alyssa Sand, and she's probably close to double digits, if not in double digits in rebounds. She'll have a double-double on her hands here in this game. And now the Huskies do have it in the front court. Eva will take the shot from three. That's going to be just off the mark, but Garretts is right there for the rebound. She'll give it off back to Eva. Eva will look to drive inside. She backs it out now to Pelzer. Pelzer will stand on the near side, and she'll slowly work things. She'll give it off across the far side to Holtas. Holtas has it, gives it off to Eva. Eva will look. She'll give it back to Holtas on the far side. Go inside to Garretts. It's going to be tipped and stolen away by Abby Anderson. So here come the Wolves. They'll give it up now to Gothman. Gothman trying to drive inside. She finds a little bit of a lane. Found that little bit of a crease. Could not get enough on that shot. And it's going to be rebounded by Garretts. Taking it the away are the Huskies. It's going to be Holtas. Nice block there by Lillian Voss, but Garretts will get the rebound and put it back up and in for two.
Good job by Voss to get back on defense. Just not enough hustle from everybody else to be able to help out, as it was a 2-on-1, and then it was a still on 2-on-1 after the ball was knocked away.
And Gothman will give it off to Anderson. That's going to be a foul.
Yep.
On Sand.
That's a great job by Anderson. Got the ball, just power stepped and leaned to the basket, and kind of created the foul right in front of her.
I thought maybe there was a chance Gothman had a chance for a kind of a shot after she spun around, but instead smartly gave it off to Anderson for the attempted shot, but she is fouled by Sand, and she's at the line to shoot two. It's going to be no good on her first, and that is the fifth team foul on Albany.
Stick with us the rest of the afternoon. A little bit of a break in between times, but I wanted to mention we got Pine City and Kimball coming up a little bit later. A little bit of green filtering in, a ton of blue, a sea of blue across the way, starting to filter in and fill up the gymnasium here at St. John's.
And that should be a good game. Pine City, Albany, the 4-5 seeds, as Abby Anderson drops in one of two there. And that's going to be a fun matchup here. I was able to call Pine City virtually all year. Though I know a lot about them. Don't know much of Kimball. Looks like they'll match up well size-wise. And Pine City has their big three, two seniors and a junior in that big three. And we'll see how they match up against Kimball, as Albany has it back after the one made free throw there from Albany. And they'll get it up off the court on the far side. It's no good on the three-point shot from Finley. It's going to be rebounded here by the Wolves, and they'll take it back up the court. It's Gothman who has it. Gothman stops, spins around, gets Garretts to turn around. Now it's to Lillian Voss. She thought about three, pulls it down, gives it off to Gothman. Gothman on the near side, stands around that elbow mark. She'll now drive inside, looks for lane, finds that lane, and just couldn't get enough spin on that one, but Willow Hunt there for the rebound, and she couldn't get enough on it. And it's going to be rebounded here by Pelzer for the Huskies. She'll take it the other way now for Albany with under 7 minutes to go. Under 6.5 now to go here in half number two. 46-25 is the lead on that Braden's Orthodontics scoreboard for the Albany Huskies. Huskies will just be patient. They'll continue to pass ball around. They had a couple of players open from three, but looks like they're going to take their time now on offense. Ooh, a late whistle there, and a foul going to go against Gothman. So a late whistle against Gothman. I thought that was a clean clean slap, but they saw a little bit more.
It looked like a clean slap trying to come over the top, but a lot of times you're going to get that call anyway just because of the angle that you have to take to get it. You almost have to go through the player's hand and arm to be able to get to the ball. So
it'll be the fifth team foul on Milaca. They will inbound it to Garrett's just outside the free throw line. It's up and in for two from Garrett's to make it 48-24. Wolves bring it back up the court now, and Albany will play the winner of that, or presumably Albany if they keep this lead. But Milaca, they've got plenty of time left. There's just under 6 minutes to go. It's going to be hard to stop Albany on offense, but Willow Hunt scores two there. Makes it 48-27, and Milaca, that's something they'll need to continue to do. And if they can tighten up a little bit here on defense, it'll start to fall their way.
See if they try to maybe go with the pressure or try to double team anything. Albany definitely trying to get the ball inside. They keep the ball spaced very well, so it makes it very hard to double team, but inside's really going to be where the turnovers have to come at.
And a three attempt there is well good from Eva, and that's a three to make it 51-24. The winner of this game will play the winner of Pine City and Kimball on next, I think it's Thursday, I believe, or next Tuesday, one of the two. There's too many dates to keep track of.
And that's when one of these games, this is how Albany ends up winning a game like that. We talked about you got to collapse inside and force them to shoot from the perimeter. Well, when they're hitting from the perimeter, then they're almost impossible to be able to match up because do you stay outside and let them get inside, or do you try to force them to keep shooting from outside? So, Pine City and Kimball coming up a little bit later. The other half of the bracket, it's going to be an all 6AA here in St. John's all night long. 4 p.m. Holding Forward in Royalton, and then 5:30 Eden Valley Watkins and Sauk Center.
That'll be a fun one.
Have some people in front of me from Sauk Center. They got here before the first game. They're watching all four.
That shot is up and no good from Droogsma. It's going to be a rebound up for grabs. Nice job there by Gothman to fight for it. She puts it back up and in for two.
Great job to be able to just push that one across the court. Know that there's somebody there and that everybody's collapsing to the basketball.
And again, I want to thank Welly Health for sponsoring this live video broadcast. Welly Health wants to remind you that they want to help your student athletes stay in the game. Dr. Mullen and his staff are available at all three Welly Health campuses, and that shot going to be up and good. I didn't see who dropped it in for two. That's going to be number 33, Garrett's, for two. And it'll be 53-26 now in favor of the Huskies. So if this stays the way that it is, it will be Albany moving on to the next round and facing off against the winner of Pine City Kimball. But Milaca still fighting hard. They're going to give it their all to the end of the game. And I tell you, Milaca has...
To answer that question, Tuesday.
There it is. And Gothman for three. Oh, just off the mark. A little too much on that one, as Holtas will get the rebound. So winners play on Tuesday. Back here at St. John's. And wow, what a shot there from Garrett's driving in. I mean, that was a beautiful drive inside there by Garrett's. It's 55-29. Timeout called here on the court. It will be 3:54 left to go here in the second half on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard, helping you find a smile you embrace forever. They also have your customized smile journey that starts with a free consultation. The team at Embrace Orthodontics wants to make your journey as seamless and convenient as possible with custom braces or Invisalign. And of course, we want to thank Welly Health for sponsoring today's video broadcast.
Welcome.
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 Welcome to a new era in healthcare.
With expert caregivers
and advanced facilities,
we help you live
in the best way possible.
Engaged, encouraged, and well.
So welcome.
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 Welcome to the new Wellia Health.
Live life well.
(55-29), the Milaca Wolves trail here at St. John's University at Sexton Arena. They're trying to push their team forward into the semifinal round. Right now they trail 55-29. Still not out of it yet with 3:41 to go. They're going to have to work a little bit quicker as Abby Anderson gets that ball inside, but it's going to be stolen away here by Finley. And the Huskies take it back up the other way. Schiffler with it. She'll work. She's working on Voss, and Voss almost got a steal. Excuse me, that's Droogsma. Droogsma almost got the ball out, but pass did get away, and now the Huskies have it. They'll just take some time off the clock and work that clock a little bit more as this game goes along. Sand gives it inside, that time to Garrett's, and Garrett's is going to be fouled. She'll go to the line to shoot 2 more.
And that was that Twin Towers type of thing that Milaca did quite a bit in the beginning part of the year with Westling still on the court. Be able to get that ball inside. You're going to get help side coming from the other end. You'll be able to lay that one off for an easy layup. You can do high-low. You can do back and forth underneath. It opens up a lot of flexibility and changes things on the perimeter as well, as the guards have to try to come and help. And that's just something that Milaca has been missing in the second half, or the second half of the year, I should say.
That shot is up and good from Garrett. She makes them both. And, yeah, you never like to see anybody injured. That's the last thing you want to see. And, I mean, you never want to see it, but it's so unfortunate when it happens to a senior leader, someone that the team relies on. And, unfortunately, she has to sit and watch this one from the bench. And, again, as a senior, that has got to be the worst feeling. But a 3 the other way from Madison Gothman puts it up and through for 3 for the Wolves to make it 57-32.
Yeah, they don't get the red shirt year like college does.
That would be nice for a lot of teams, but they get to go on to college and do bigger and better things. A lot of these players will be moving on to college and playing college basketball, as we get a foul here again on Milaca. It will be their team's 7th, and Garrett's will go to line to shoot another 2. That's going to be Drugsma, her 3rd.
You see the Albany coaching staff, they're looking to go a little deeper on their bench, bring in some of their little deeper talent, be able to kind of move, not away from this game, but I think they're in a comfortable position. 2.5 to play, up by 25 points.
Checking in for the first time here tonight for the Albany Huskies is Paige Lauer, wearing that number 25 jersey, as Garrett's shot is no good.
Sand and Findlay likely checking out for the final time of the ball game.
So my apologies, it was not 2, it was a 1-and-1, and gonna get a foul here on Albany. I did not see anything.
Now we're gonna see a Grace Haas, Lydia Cramlett coming back in, and Lillian Voss, but you start seeing some of the starters start to work off the court for both teams.
2:28 to go, 57-32. Abby Anderson at the line to shoot 2. Anderson sets up, and it is good. So it's a 1-and-1 for Anderson.
But like you said, she'll get to shoot 2.
Yes. I could just see the future. I knew she was going to make the first one is what happened. That's what I'll go with anyways. Second one is up and no good.
I think you start seeing some of the coaching staffs start talking about some of the seniors that haven't been able to get on the court yet. Try to be able to get them some playing time here late in the ball game.
That shot was up and no good there from Grace Haas, and it will go back the other way for the Milaca Wolves. And again, they'll just take as much time off the clock as they can, but a steal there by Willow Hunt will give it back to the Wolves, 57-33 with under 2 minutes to go. Cramlett will give it off to Haas, and Haas now to Voss. Voss back to Cramlett. Cramlett looking to drive. She stops, gives it off to Willow Hunt. And again, we've mentioned before, both of these teams are going to be bringing back majority of everybody. I think there's only 2 seniors on each side, I think, as we mentioned. That shot no good and poked out, stolen away by Willow Hunt off of the rebound from Albany. And she puts it up and in for 2. Nice job there by Willow Hunt, still being aggressive. The rebound was grabbed by the Huskies, but Hunt being aggressive, stole it away and dropped it in for 2.
22-point ball game now on the Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. The seniors for Milaca, Xenia Niera, Georgia Saki, Abby Anderson, and Mila Van Vulpen kind of going down the roster. And I think that's kind of maybe a discussion of like, all right, let's kind of try to get something going here. But otherwise, we got 1:38. You got 98 seconds left to go here in the season. Maybe you start working some of those seniors into the ball game. It's you never want to lose, but if you can lose on the court.
Absolutely, and so unfortunate that, again, this is the tough thing about playoffs. One side, especially when you get local teams, you get to see utter jubilation knowing they're moving on, and then the other side, it's you get to watch a team's season come to an end. The seniors play their last game, so it's so tough to watch some of these. But again, we thank Wellia Health for providing the sponsorship for the video stream here today. They are a proud sponsor of all the local high schools and athletes. They want to wish the girls good luck in the 2023 playoffs. So thanks again to Wellia Health for providing the video stream sponsorship.
Can't say enough about what they've been able to do this postseason. Hockey, basketball, everything.
Yeah.
It's been great.
The Albany Huskies have it back in their front court. They're just going to look to pass this one around. And poked out. Going to be stolen away there by the Huskies. That was Grace Haas who got the steal for the Wolves, rather. And that ball going to be out of bounds. Last touch by the Huskies. And the Wolves will hold on to it. Abby Anderson had it poked out by a Husky. But the Wolves will hold on to it. 57-35. The Wolves trail with 1:15 to go. It's Lillian Voss who has it. She'll look to inbound. And she'll lob it up inside to Willow Hunt. She'll give it off far side to Cramlett. Cramlett wanted the three, but will smartly pass off to Voss. And of course, the season ends for the seniors, sadly. But for Milaca, obviously, you're going to take much of this team into next year.
Yeah, this is not the end of the road. You're not graduating heavy, and and nonetheless, there's going to be kids coming back no matter what. But you have a lot of talented youth that's coming back over the course of the next couple of years, really, for both of these squads. And you got to feel good about the way the program is building for Milaca and looking towards the future a little bit. It's sad, you get the seniors, Abby Anderson out on the court right now, going to be finishing her career here at St. John's, but at the same time, they gave a real strong fight. Right now it's a 22-point ball game, but it was a single possession ball game for the bulk of it in the first half.
Absolutely, and again, sucks that it's ending, but Milaca's got to be after this game down the line. They'll look and say this was a hard fight. We fought Albany really well. We were probably not expected to be close in that first half, and we kept it within, like you mentioned, one possession for the much of that first half. And Abby Anderson will come off the court for the final time in her basketball career. Again, just best wishes to her. Congratulations on a great season to her, as well as Wesleyan. And again, just a great season for the Milaca Wolves. And they will have it one more time in their front court. Willow Hunt has it with 25 seconds to go, trying to get it to Cramlett. Cramlett will drive inside, try to add a couple more. It's no good. Going to be rebounded there by the Albany Huskies. Want to give the shout out. Oh, I don't have that right number on the roster sheet. Number 43. Don't have the number for her.
Oh, there's going to be
I believe that's Forster.
I don't know what happened
Forster.
there. I think there was a foul. I was hoping that, honestly, Albany was going to take a timeout to be able to get the three seniors onto the court for the Wolves, be able to get them out there and be able to get a chance to have them finishing out there. But
Alexis Funk, no good on her shot. It's rebounded by the Wolves, and they'll bring it down one more time, and that pass is just off the mark for anyone, and that will be it. So the final here in this one, the Albany Huskies get the victory 57-35, and that will end the Wolves season. We'll take a quick commercial break, then we'll be back, and we'll recap this game and get ready for the next one after this. Again, thanks to Wellia Health for sponsoring the video stream.
Welcome.
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 Welcome to
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
Maxwell Southern Barbecue in Pine City is now hiring, but owners Dennis and Maggie wanted us to give you the job hazards up front, so here it goes. Working at Maxwell's may cause severe envy of seeing the joy on customers' faces. The smell of slow smoked brisket, ribs, chicken, and pork may cause euphoria. Cooks may experience, quote, mean mugs and jealousy from cooks that don't work with a barbecue pitmaster. But the good news is Maxwell Southern Barbecue is now hiring cooks and wait staff. Apply in person today or log on to maxwellsouthernbbq.com now.
Keep your home or business comfortable this winter by getting a furnace tune-up from Dale's Heating and Appliance. A tune-up from Dale's will keep your furnace running at peak efficiency so you can stay warm all winter. And Dale's offers financing on new heating systems as well. Your hometown heating expert is Dale's Heating and Appliance. Avoid costly repairs and call Dale's Heating and Appliance at 320-629-3531 or find them online at dalesheatingandappliance.com. dalesheatingandappliance.com.
KBK 95.5 FM, Andy Beckstrom on hand here in St. John's at St. John's University at Sexton Arena. Glad you could join us for the broadcast today. Milaca falls in their matchup against Albany. They fall 57-35, ending the season of the Wolves. Great fight from them. They played very well. Had really right there, had the ball game. Had a couple of leads even in the first half, but just Albany too deep and too much, especially in the second half, being able to create a lot of turnovers and really taking advantage of everything kind of coming down the stretch. The Albany Huskies in the ball game, they were paced by Alyssa Sand, 17 points and 9 rebounds on the night, just missing a double-double. Kylan Garrett's 15 points and 8 rebounds for her, 12 points for Savannah Pelzer, leading the way for the Albany Huskies. For the Milaca Wolves, they were led on the night by 3 players with 9 points, Lydia Cramlett, Madison Gothman, and Willow Hunt. All 9 points on the night. Cramlett and Gothman, 9 points and 5 rebounds. Hunt with 9 points and 2 rebounds on the night. We talked a little bit at halftime about the rebounding ratio, and really at the end of the ball game, it was 10-10, 6 offensive rebounds for Albany in the first half. In the ball game, the total rebounds, Albany really came to the glass in the second half, 33-21 as they out-rebound Milaca 23-11 in the second half. They also gather up another 9 offensive boards. Milaca just 3 offensive boards on the other side. So a tough night on the glass for Milaca, but Albany has a ton of height. We talked about that all day long. You're just going to have to be that much more fundamental trying to box out, but it's still hard to be able to out-rebound a team that has all the height in the world. Taking a look at some of the other stats that stood out, we talked a little bit about the turnovers at halftime. Milaca had 15 turnovers at halftime. They only had 20 turnovers for the ball game. So really, Milaca did what we talked about. They didn't turn the ball over and shoot themselves in the foot in the second half, but just not enough gas to be able to hold up against a team that was 1 for 7 in the first half from downtown, but ends up 4 of 14. 3 of 7 from downtown in the second half. They shot much better from the floor in the second half, did Albany. Milaca just not enough steam, as I mentioned, trying to be able to stand up to one of the top teams in state. So a great night and a great season for the Milaca Wolves. Comes up just a little bit short as they fall in a matchup 57-35 to the Albany Huskies. And we kind of monitor the warm-ups here as we're getting things started for the Pine City Dragons. They're going to take host to the Kimball squad, and going to be able to get a chance to see Kimball for the first time as Pine City. We talked a little bit on the way over here. Pine City, really, once they start rolling, they're a very hard team to beat. They lack a little bit. They are kind of a team of extremes. They have a couple of players in Lind and a couple other players that have a lot of height to work with. Jusak, of course, a little bit of height, but some of their guards not quite as tall. So they kind of have a lot of height and no height all at the same time. Really not a lot of that in between for that. So getting ready for the second matchup will be Pine City and Kimball. That was slated to start at 2:45. It's about 20 after now, but they do have about 15 minutes up on the clock. It looks like we're going to have Coach Eric Dalby going to come and join us up here on the post game. And talk to him a little bit about the Wolves season and kind of how things went here in at St. John's, and be able to get a chance to talk to him just a little bit. Joined by Milaca coach Eric Dalby. And Coach, first and foremost, want to congratulate you on a successful season, a great season, and I'll let you talk about maybe the team and the girls, just kind of a momentary reflection now.
It was a good season. We had expectations coming in this year, and we knew we were going to be young, and we got pretty much what we were thinking. Ups and downs with young guards like we had. We knew that we would at times have some really good things, and we knew we were going to struggle. And teams like Albany, they're so fundamental, they're so poised, they're so long, they give you problems. And of course, missing our inside game the last 3 weeks of the year, that hurts. And so we had to kind of relearn a little bit of how we were going to play. Mm-hmm. We almost had to change our entire game plan.
Absolutely.
I guess when you lose the conference player of the year, we have to rethink how we're doing things. And so that was a challenge. The kids really stepped up well, and while we didn't win a lot of those last 6-7 games, they got better and better and better throughout the time.
Is it something that you guys talked about, or is it something that the young players and a lot of the team had? One of the things I was extremely impressed with tonight was Albany's one of those teams. They're a juggernaut team. They're a great team, but nobody seemed afraid at all. Nobody on your roster seemed like, oh, this is Albany. It seemed like we're going to go get it. Like, they have to think about us a little bit. It seemed like there was a lot of confidence, even without Westling out there. You know, whether she helped with that, it just seemed like there was, you know what, that's a tough player to lose, but we're not going to back down. We're not going to just fold up shop.
Like I said, we had 6 or 7 games that we played without her, so we did have to grow. It was an adjustment where we said, okay, now let's rethink what we're doing. Our roles might change, like what we need you to do might change, but the kids have played fearless all year. This is not a group that shies away from people. Like they're willing to go out and battle, and we like to think that we always will put a team that will go out and battle with you. And today was no different. We knew the pressure was on Albany to come out as a 1 seed and beat us, and they'd beaten us twice in the conference. And part of that is we see them all the time, so we're very comfortable. We know who they are. They know who we are. There's no secrets at this time of the year. You get to March, there ain't no secrets. And so we knew what we were going to see, and the kids played. I thought they played, like you said, fairly fearless. Mm-hmm. And you're still playing a very good team, but the kids were willing to go out, and I said we're gonna go out and play no matter what, buzzer to buzzer, go out and battle, and they do that every night.
Well, we will definitely appreciate you joining us here on the post game, and we were very impressed with the way you guys played against a very tough Albany squad, and not backing down, I guess, if you will.
Hey, thank you guys. We appreciate it.
We definitely appreciate you joining us here in the post game. Milaca falls here in section play to Albany. We'll continue here on the post game and wrap things up when we return on Nice 95.5.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
It's never too early to start thinking about your summer landscaping projects. Jeff's Outdoor Services is now booking projects for this summer. Let Jeff's Outdoor Services help transform your property into a stunning work of art. They do it all: fire pits, patios, retaining walls, and even regular lawn care. Jeff's Outdoor Services is growing. They're looking for lawn care technicians to join their team. Work for an authentic, qualified team of professionals with a new career at Jeff's Outdoor Services. Contact them today at jeffsoutdoorservices.com.
Back here, we're going to quickly end this broadcast, then we'll get over to the Pine City broadcast over on 106.5 FM, AM 1350. And coming up right after the Bram game is over and after we wrap up this one, it'll be Ogilvie taking on Barnum in that matchup. So we'll hit pause here on this station, wait for Ogilvie, and then we will have Pine City versus Kimball on 106.5 FM, AM 1350. Thanks so much for everybody tuning in.